Your child needs these three key factors to get into an Ivy League or top 25 university. And it's not having a good GPA or SAT score. Let me explain. 90% of students with a 4.0 plus GPAs get rejected from universities like Harvard, Stanford, and other top
universities made SAT and ACT submissions optional. With over 100,000 plus applicants a year, as you know, the child needs to stand out. Top universities like Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, and others admit students who will have a
Hello there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training company PassMyInterview.com, and in this presentation I'm going to teach you how to pass a Chief Financial Officer interview. So if you have a CFO interview coming up with any organisation whatsoever, please make sure you stay tuned and watch this presentation from start to finish, because it will make a significant difference to your preparation and your performance at the interview. Now, to achieve that goal, this is what I'm going to cover. I'm going to give you a list of CFO interview questions that I strongly advise you prepare for. I'm going to give you strong, unique answers to tough Chief Financial Officer interview questions. I will give you some important tips on how to stand out during your interview, and I will also tell you about further resources, including these slides, you can get access to help you succeed. So there's 4 reasons why you should stay tuned. Now, just very quickly, before we get started with the CFO interview training presentation, my name is Richard. That is on there in the centre of the screen. I am a former fire officer of 17 years, and since then I've been helping people to successfully pass their job interviews, and I always do that by giving you top scoring answers you cannot find anywhere else. On that basis, please make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking the red button below the video, and you won't miss out on any of the training videos I upload. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video. And please do give the video a like. That tells me you enjoy the content, and I will create more for you. Thank you very much. So the first question is going to be either introduce yourself or tell me about yourself. So this will be the first interview question asked. And this is your opportunity to get off to a positive start. Within your answer, make sure you talk about the skills, the qualities and the experience you have, and also how passionate you are about this position. It is important we show the interview panel you can add significant value to their organisation as their new CFO. So here's my suggested answer to this first CFO interview question. Tell me about yourself. I am a strategically driven CFO who has the vision and the foresight to ensure the organisation is financially lean, profitable and compliant. Now, over the years, I've worked hard to build up a diverse set of skills that enables me to deal with a wide range of situations, to respond to financial problems and issues as and when they arise, and the ability to simplify processes that are to the advantage of everyone within the organisation. The level of responsibility that comes with the position of Chief Financial Officer is something I take very seriously. I have the knowledge, the commercial acumen, the strategic vision and the confidence to help you achieve your goals. If you do hire me as your CFO, I believe you will see a significant and long-lasting positive impact financially from the work I carry out, the standards I set, and the results-orientated mindset I utilise in all work and projects I am responsible for. So that's a very positive answer to that first CFO interview question, tell me about yourself. And it sets you up with confidence for the remainder of your interview. Now you can either pause the video if you want to and take a note of the questions and answers as we progress together, or if you want to wait, I will tell you where you can download my full set of 23 Chief Financial Officer interview questions and top scoring answers, including the ones we are working through together today. The next question: describe how your previous experience has prepared you for this role. Now, having experience in a wide variety of financial related situations will significantly increase your chances of success at your CFO interview. My advice is to write down a list of challenging situations you've been in where your actions have helped an organisation to improve its performance financially. So here's my suggested answer to that question. Describe how your previous experience has prepared you for this role.
Homeowners in Maryland don't overpay for your bathroom remodel. Fix it up. The bathroom developer will pay 5 bathrooms in your area.
I have many years' experience within different sized organisations, each with differing goals and objectives. This experience has enabled me to develop a flexible and adaptable approach towards an organisation's financial responsibilities and objectives. For example, I have experience in assisting with strategic decisions based around policy where changes are needed to ensure compliance. I have extensive experience of creating policy and ensuring it is disseminated throughout the organisation. And I have experience of identifying financial risks and the opportunities that are present within the sector. I also have experience of simplifying processes to help an organisation meet its financial and commercial goals quicker. Finally, I have experience of working alongside other senior organisational officers, and I fully understand how important it is to work collaboratively and flexibly with my senior colleagues to achieve the company goals and aspirations. So that's another really strong answer that you can use during your CFO interview. Now don't go anywhere, because I still have many more questions and answers to work through with you. But when you're ready, click on the top right hand corner of the video. It goes through to my website, passmyinterview.com. You can download my full set of 23 CFO interview questions and top scoring answers, including the ones we are working through together. The next question: why do you want to work for our organisation as the Chief Financial Officer? Now, you and I know that CFO positions rarely become available in large organisations. Therefore, we must show the interview that we have good reasons for wanting to work for them in the position of CFO. And it's not simply the job that we are interested in. We have to show that we have been attracted to their organisation and we can add value through the work we undertake. So here is my suggested answer to the question: why do you want to work for our organisation as the Chief Financial Officer? Prior to applying the CFO position, I researched your organisation carefully. I researched the sector and assessed the opportunities that are present where I feel I can make a positive difference. My research told me you have a great history of achievement, you set very high standards, you have an innovative approach to creating products and services, and you have ambitious plans for the future. There are clearly lots of opportunities within the sector, and whilst there will be challenges along the way, the future is bright and I want to be a part of that journey, helping you along the way from a financial perspective. The skills and experience I have gained throughout my career, I believe, are a strong match for your organisational values and your high standards. So that's another strong answer. So we're making very good progress now during our preparation for your CFO interview. And the next question I want you to prepare for is: tell me a time when you solved a financial or accounting related problem within an organisation. So this situational type CFO interview question is assessing your ability to solve financial specific problems within an organisation. Here's a strong answer to assist you.
Transform your career and gain valuable skills in areas like leadership, finance, and human resources with Boise State Online's business programs. Caring staff, expert faculty, and professional peers empower you to reach your goals. With our high retention and graduation rates, national awards, and accreditation.
A few years ago, I started working for a large organisation as their chief financial officer. They needed my experience because there were issues from a budgeting and accounting perspective, and significant changes needed to be made quickly. I started out assessing the current financial position the organisation was in, the staff who were in place, the responsibilities they all had, and the problems present that were causing the business issues. After quickly identifying the cause of the problems, I put a plan in place to turn things around. I changed policy. I recruited 2 new members of staff, and I put restrictions in place to ensure the buying and ordering processes were more controlled. Then, by holding regular meetings with heads of departments, I was able to change the financial culture within the organisation to one that was more responsible. This eventually led to better working practice and procedures and an increase in profitability for the organisation. So you are giving a specific situation you've been in previously that is relevant to that interview question. The next one, if we ask you to simplify the financial process within our organisation, how would you approach it? So this is quite a challenging CFO interview question to respond to, but it does feature often during interviews at this level. Here's my example answer to assist you. So the question again is, if we ask you to simplify the financial process within our organisation, how would you approach it? I would utilise a 4-step process that I've used time and time again in previous organisations. The first step is to identify the financial strategic focus. Where are we right now and where do we want to be? The second step is to determine the direction we are heading as an organisation. Now this should ideally be focused on our customers and clients, our approach to sales and customer service, and our operations and fulfilment processes. The third step is to decide which services we keep in-house and which we outsource. There is, in my opinion, a misconception that everything financial must be done internally, when in fact an effective way to simplify things is to utilise the skills and expertise of others through external partnerships and outsourcing. Finally, step 4 would be to create our financial roadmap, which dictates how we are going to achieve our objectives. Now the roadmap should include the transformation process, the timeline, the process for replacement and change, and the person responsible for each specific element. Experience has told me that throughout any process of simplification and change, it's very important to identify the risks involved, but to also make sure you take advantage of any opportunities present for the organisation to benefit financially. So that's a very in-depth answer that explains the different steps and processes you would follow to simplify financial processes within an organisation. And you can use that as a sample response to build your own based on your own experiences. So the next thing is, please do click that link in the top right hand corner of the video. It goes through to my website, passmyinterview.com. Take a look at my 23 CFO interview questions, and you also have the option to download all of the answers, including the ones I have worked through with you today. I hope you've enjoyed that. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please hit the like button and connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all the best in passing your CFO interview. Have a brilliant Hello there, my name is Richard McMahon from the interview training website, passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial I will teach you how to pass a junior accountant interview. So if you are applying to become a junior accountant in any company or organisation, make sure you stay tuned, because I promise to help you be successful. And to achieve that goal, this is what I will cover during this training tutorial. So I am going to give you a list of junior accountant interview questions that I strongly recommend you prepare for. unique answers to those interview questions to help you succeed. You cannot find these answers anywhere else. They are unique. I will also give you some really important tips for helping you to pass your junior accountant interview and essentially beat the competition. And I will also tell you how you can download further resources, including the answers in this tutorial, to help you pass your interview. So lots of reasons there why you need to watch this presentation from start to finish. And just very quickly, if you're new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Literally thousands and thousands of you are passing your job interviews, and I don't want you to miss out. Please make sure you subscribe, and please just give the video a like. That tells me you find these tutorials useful, and it motivates me to create more content for you. Thank you very much. Okay, let's get straight into the tutorial. So the first interview question I want you to prepare for is tell me about yourself. Now, in your answer, talk about the skills, the qualifications, and any experience you have that are relevant to the position of a junior accountant. You should also talk about your strengths and what you will do in the role if they hire you. So here's a great example answer to help you pass your junior accountant interview. Tell me about yourself. Here we go. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be interviewed today for this junior.
Welcome everybody, so great to have you. Today, we've got something for the top dogs, the big boys and girls who are interviewing for those executive level positions, 12 strategies to succeed in executive job interviews. But this is not just for the top brass. If you are that senior manager or director or mid-level resource looking to kick yourself up that ladder, this is great for you. If you're more of a mid-level or junior resource, if you can do all 12 of these things that we're going to talk about today, I guarantee you will not just win your interview, but you will absolutely crush it. But if you are an executive, you gotta go 12 for 12. So let's roll. Got my note cards here. Number one, it's about the, I hope I have number one. I was shuffling these cards before. It's about the research. Okay, so what do I mean by research? When you go into your interview at the executive level, and I don't care if this is a 10-minute interview with a recruiter or HR person, or you meet the CEO of the company, if your research is not this thick, you're going to be great. I'm talking 10Ks, NQs, 8Qs, every press release that you can find. If it's a private company, you need to get into Hoovers or some of these others like Data.com will give you insight into the organization. Competitive market analysis, where do they sit? Where are their holes? Where's their competition beating them up? What's their products, their services? How do they go to market? All of that good stuff you need to know before you get into the interview. Nothing is worse. The biggest mistake you can make at the executive level is asking a question that you could have otherwise found the answer to on your own. This is a big honking deal. Now, if you're at the junior level, you want to understand the company and you want to understand what they do. You're probably a little bit more focused on doing your job well. But at the executive level, you have to be able to see the complete picture and where they are and where their opportunities are So you got to have the research done. Now, I was trying to show off my artistic skills here. That's the world. That's the world. You need to know how everything fits together. How everything fits together inside the organization and outside the organization. So what do I mean by that? So when you come in, and I was talking about organizationally, how they structure the products, the services, the departments, everything it takes in order to develop that product, bring it to market or service or whatever it might be. Well, you've got to know how all of that stuff fits together. If you're at the junior level, you have to know how to do your job well. You have to know how to sell this product well, or develop this product, or write the software, or create this marketing campaign, or whatever it is. But if you are an executive, you've got to know how all of that fits together And not only internally within the organization, how does the baton get handed from one to the other? What are the causes and effects of doing something, not doing something? How does that organization integrate with its customers or its partners in the outside world? So you have to be able to see the entire picture. That's very, very important that your working knowledge of that organization, its market or its service or its product or whatever it may be. You have to be able to understand what the entire blueprint looks like. So you got to be the general contractor, not the plumber, so to speak. So that's really important. Number 3 is everything that you discuss should be centered on the company and not the role. So it's okay to talk a little bit about what you're going to do, but everything that you do, everything that you speak about when you're telling your stories about your past or you're speaking about the company's future, you want to make sure that everything that you're discussing is within the context of the organization. So when you're answering questions, when you're asking questions, most of 90% of the discussion should in some way, shape, or form be focused on how what you're going to do is going to influence that organization, or how what you did in the past influenced your organization or its markets or customers, increased its market share, or whatever, more so than the bits and bytes of what you did. So that's a huge deal. Now at the lower levels, you're probably talking a little bit more about your role and how you did that effectively. As an executive, you have to speak about your role in the context of how it influenced the organization. Okay, that's number 3. Number four, it is about how much, not how many. It's about how much, not how many. What do I mean by that? So when you think about everything, actually anybody who's out there that's in my boot camp or in my resume writing workshop, or actually any of the Mile Walk Academy members, because even the interviewing course is about this. It's always about the benefits that you achieve. It's about the impact that you made. It's less important about how exactly you did it, but a lot of people at the executive level want to get hung up on how many people they managed, or how many groups they were in charge of. And it's much less important than most people think. And if you think about it, even CEOs of large organizations only have so many direct reports, like the CIO, the CFO, the CMO, Chief People Officer, Chief of Human Resources, or whatever. There's only so many immediate reports that they have. Those reports have reports, and those reports have more reports, and so on. So I don't want you to get too hung up on how many people you manage, how big your organization was. I'm not talking about the dollars you managed, the EBITDA, profit margins, and those kind of things, but I'm talking about the people effectively. So we want to talk about the impact that what you did on the organization or the outside world, or its customers, or its partners, or whatever. Number 5, where are we at? Number 5, it's about their future, not your past. It's about their future, not your past. I just got done saying 90% of the interview, right, needs to be focused where? Well, actually, this is another 90%er, because 90% of what you're speaking about. So before I was talking about company and role, now I'm talking about past and future. 90% of the context of what you're speaking about needs to be about their future. If you are spending a substantial amount of time speaking about your past, the interview is not going well. It's not going well. When you speak about your past, when you start talking about exactly how you were doing things, the interviewer is in evaluation mode of you. When you start talking about their future, you're shifting the discussion so that they are less evaluating you and more imagining what it would be like to have you leading an arm of their company. So if you talk about the future and how you're going to change it, and what you would do to change it, what needs to be changed, how much of this, how you would go about it, and so on, I can envision what it would be like to have you in my organization and the impact that you will have in changing it. That in and of itself will give me an indication of your working knowledge of the past and the things that you've experienced and what that's taught you and the expertise it's given you. If I'm hanging out in your past, then that means I'm not convinced that you know how to do this. So you want to constantly shift the discussion to the future. to the future. So you want to make sure that you're talking about situations in their environment that have yet to occur. Yet to occur. That's your yardstick. It's not yet occurred, and whether it's something they desire and they already know because it's in their strategy, or it's something they're asking you about, what would you do? That's okay. All that stuff's cool. And if that's where the discussion is, you know you're in the right spot to score major points. Okay. Let's also, kind of in the same vein, number 6 here, your sequencing, your story sequencing. Now, stories, this is my terminology. Basically, anytime you're responding to a question where you have to respond for some minutes at a time, or you have to tell a story about your past or their future, that's just story sequencing. So just any kind of response that you're making to something that they asked you. Your sequencing is very, very important. It never should ever start from the bottom and go up. You always need to start at the highest level, and you need to talk about the macro viewpoints and then work your way down. You, as an executive, should never reach the bottom. You should never reach the bottom. You should get stopped about, I don't know, maybe 2/3 of the way through. And I'll give you an example. We'll hang out on this one for a few minutes. So it's always important, and I mentioned this in one of the earlier ones, that you want to be talking about the benefits and the impacts that you're making. Your stories should start either there or at one step higher. So you want to be speaking at the macro level. Here's what the goals are, or here's what the strategy is, or here's what we're chartered in doing. Here's the impact that we had, and here's what we achieved. And if you get to that spot, a great interviewer who's interviewing the executive will immediately shift you to the future and say, okay, how would you apply that to what we want to do here? If they let you keep going down to, okay, and here's exactly how I did that, and then I did this, and then I did this, and then I did this, you know you want to start shifting them to the future. So if this is what I did, and here's what I achieved, I'd love to know how I can apply that experience to what you need me to do. Move it. You control the interview and move it into the future if you have to. So, if I'm chartered with, building a sales organization, hey, we want you to be the vice president of sales nationally or globally. We know our charter is we need to grow revenue, and we've got multiple products, we've got 3 products, and we're not sure which one to take into new markets. Maybe that's their issue, and they're looking for somebody to come in and develop the products or sell the products or whatever. And now they're asking for opinion of how they're doing that. So when I say start at the macro level, what I mean is it's not, okay, I would start hiring salespeople and I would move them into the market and so on. That's starting in the middle of the story. Well, the first thing that I would need to do is I would need to evaluate these products, and I want to look at the history and the customer segmentation and so on. Then what we would do is we would look at where those products are aligned in the U.S. Then what we would do is we would start, and I would need to put salespeople in the right markets that align with those customers who buy that product in that particular region. Then what I would do is, and so on. And that's what I mean by starting at the highest level. So you almost want to go back to the homework part, the research part, the product development part, the service development part, wherever it might be. And if they have a strategy in place and they say, we know we've already done that, here's what we would do, then just say, okay, well, if you've decided that, then here's how I would go about executing it, and so forth. So your sequencing is really important. It has to start at the top and trickle down. Strategy first, evaluation, strategy, and then implementation. So story sequencing is a big deal. If they start to look at how to build that sales organization, you can't start with the tactics. If they go to your history and they say, how'd you build your sales organization previously? You need to go all the way back to the beginning and think and tell them how the strategy was built. It's a big deal. It's subtle, but it gets the interviewer knowing that you're looking at the right stuff first and you're not immediately going to think the answer is. Because there are a lot of mistakes made because people make assumptions about how they should grow this, market that, develop this. Okay, so, and number 7, multiple questions. And I don't mean you need to have a lot of questions. You do need to have a lot of questions because there's a lot of stuff you need to evaluate. I'm talking about you need to have a multi-line of questions for any area that you are going to be investigating. So what do I mean by that? Well, I have my criteria of all the things that make me happy. That's the first thing that I need to do to make sure that I know how to evaluate you as a company. And then from the criteria, I generate questions that help me understand whether you can satisfy my needs and the things that are important to me. And my needs fall into a couple different categories, and I'm always trying to ascertain whether you are a good company and whether you are a good company for me. Those are two separate questions. They can be a great company, but not a great company for you. So, and they could be a great company for you, and maybe just not a great company as far as the market is concerned, the way they treat their employees, or whatever it might be. But you need the answers to all of that. So, you line up your questions, but executives need to be able to have a multi-part line of questioning for every question that they ask. So when you ask a question as an executive, if I give you an answer and you move on to the next question, what you're telling me is you're just kind of skimming the surface. You're not really a great investigator, because no executive is going to be able, if the topic was worthy of you asking me to investigate it for yourself, and I gave you a one-word answer or a one-sentence answer or something that was really quick, and you were able to shut that down, then you're just kind of puddle surfing. You didn't dive deep enough, and as an executive, you need to make sure you're getting a complete suite of information to make educated decisions. So, you need to ask a question, and then as an executive, you need to be prepared for every possible response. Yes, no, maybe, I'm not sure, hey, we thought about it, here's what we're speculating. Anything that could possibly come back at you, then you need to have your next question lined up. That's right, you need 5 variations of your next question, and you need to know what those are, or you at least need to know the flow of where you take the discussion, depending on how they would answer the question. So when I would go into an interview, the last time I went in for a job, or anybody that I was interviewing, I'd have all my questions, and then I'd have their potential answers, and then I'd have my next questions, and so on. So what that is doing is it's sending a message that you are going to be a well-informed executive, and well-informed executives make educated and good decisions most of the time. Sure, there's things that can happen, but still, it's the subtle messages that you're sending me. If you don't have multi-part questions, then I know you're just skimming it, and you're leaving a lot of holes. You're leaving a lot of holes for yourself. So you need to make sure you got these multi-part questions. Now, the rest of these, 8 through 12, there's a little bit more characteristics, traits, and those kind of things. But this one here, integrity, leadership, character, all that stuff, all of your stories need to show how you did this by example. Not what you commanded, but what you did for your students. Leaders build more leaders, they don't build more followers. So how did you do that? So your stories have to be very clear on how you led by example, and what you did with your troops to make them love you and go into battle for you and all that good stuff, because you were on the front of the boat getting splashed with the waves coming at you, or the arrows, or whatever analogy you want to use. But you've got to make sure that if you're going to get into how you've led, you need to talk about how you led by example. It's very, very important. So that's really important. Number 9 is you've got to have good communication skills. So this goes both ways. So not just what comes out of your mouth, but also you're listening to students, and your ability to interact. And communication is not just speaking and listening. It's reading the verbal and nonverbal cues. It's recognizing the situation. It's not just that you're a great orator, or that you can communicate or speak well. I know a lot of people speak well. They sound great. They're terrible communicators. So are you reading the room? Are you demonstrating that you are a good communicator in every sense of the word? Actually, speaking of interview intervention, I talk about your communication quotient. An effective and a high CQ communication quotient is about an accurate exchange of verbal and nonverbal exchange of information verbally and nonverbally. So that's what I'm talking about. Hey, don't forget to get your interview intervention. Well, all right, number 10. Look the part. Please, look the part. Don't go in dressed in goofy stuff. I wore my nice, comfy, black favorite t-shirt for you executives today. When you go into the interview, use suits, ties, ladies, a good suit skirt, I guess, or pants is okay, but look the part, be polished. Okay, I think I even shaved a little and showered for you guys today. Just make sure you look the part. Okay, it doesn't matter what you look like physically, but your appearance that is totally within your control should be down there. You need to look, like an executive as well. And you need to talk like one. And I'm not just talking about the communication. So communication itself deserves an item, but so does positive talk, as in no negative talk. So never should you ever utter a word that has any negativity into it. I'm not saying you need to be inhuman. I'm just saying in an interview, when you go in, everything that you're focusing on needs to be in a positive light. If you screwed something up morally and it wasn't your fault, I don't care. What did you learn? What did you do as a result of it? Why was that beneficial for your experience? Everything needs to be positive. So I'm not just talking about don't use negative words. I mean everything that has ever happened to you in your life, no matter how miserable it might have felt at the time, there was a positive outcome from that, the experience, what it taught you, how you applied it, how you reacted. That's what I mean. So positive talk in all its forms. And I know I'm missing one here. Here we go. Number 12 is confidence. Confidence. You gotta have it. Gotta have it. There should not be a hint of insecurity in you. I'm not talking about, bravado over the top. I just mean I'm confident. You're humble. You're confident at the same time. Just make sure that you are displaying that confidence. You know that things are going to happen. You're going to make them happen. You take responsibility, and you're confident that you can do the job and move the needle in their company. Okay, so there you have the 12. If I'm not gonna go through all those. You can hit the replay on the recording. If you are loving this, do me a favor. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the thumbs up.
How's your car? Like new? Engine's been great. Insurance company?
Engineering is magical. The state of dedicated veterans priorities.
Are you?
That mascot. Oh yeah. Simply fun.
I want to get into the video because this is pretty fun, and I get a ton of questions about this one, and more companies are using this now. And they're using it, honestly, because it's convenient, and they got executives flying all over the world. Sometimes you're in different cities or states than they are. It's a lot easier for them. They can pile a bunch of people into a room. So I know it's a little less comfortable than actually being able to engage with somebody. So I thought it was about time. I got so many questions about this. I figured let's do it. So this past weekend, what I typically do on Fridays or Sundays, whenever I have time, depending on what my schedule looks like. I think about the week that I'm about to go into, and actually I get excited to do that stuff. I mean, I love Mondays. I don't know if you saw my I love Mondays video. My little
all the exciting stuff is really there. in my industry, software services. Everybody we have people from 98 nationalities. Almost 50,000 non-Indians. So it's not a typical Indian IT lift and shift model where you hire only from India and it is a global model. One of the highest percentages of non-Indian employees. Yeah.
When this transformation, when the company transformed or when these acquisitions, how did you handle, because your employee first is the goal, how did you make sure that your existing employees, the older employees, are able to move along with you in that transition? What was the strategy?
Thanks for asking.
So my dad stopped paying for car insurance. Wait till you see his clever new move.
Apparently 80% of auto insurance payments go straight.
Question for you. Do you have a second interview coming up with the hiring manager's manager or possibly even higher up than that? Small company, could be a CEO. If so, definitely stay tuned for this video as this is what I'm going to cover today. So if you are new here to my channel, my name is Bill Benoist. I'm a certified professional career coach in Silicon Valley. Primarily work with individuals in mid to late career professionals, that is, and this is a very common occurrence, is interviewing with the next level up. This is the second interview, and there's a couple of ways that I want you to think about preparing for this interview. So number one, I've talked about this in previous videos. Your resume is what validated your competence, right? They get on the phone with you, they do a phone screen, they're still validating your competence, but when it actually goes for the interview, it's becoming a little bit more about compatibility than it is about competence. They're still going to ask you some questions, regarding the competence of the position, but it really becomes more about compatibility, and that is never more so true than when you are interviewing at a higher level. I mean, think about this. If you're interviewing as a project manager, as a software engineer, as a financial analyst, whatever it is, and you're interviewing with a CEO, do you think they're going to really understand their job that much? And it's often true even with just one level up from the hiring manager. Because although they may be that overall department manager, they don't really understand the degree, and they've got to understand that you will know more than they do about it. So there's really not a lot you can prepare for as far as like technical or operational questions, but there are ways that you can prepare for this interview, and that is understanding the compatibility and really getting engaged with that person that's interviewing you. So I want you to think about this in two different lights. There's two different kinds of individuals that will be interviewing you at this level. One would be what I would say somebody who likes to be the center of attention, and the other person who doesn't like to be the center of attention. So what do I mean by this? Center of attention, it means that they really enjoy talking, not necessarily about themselves, but they enjoy being the conversationalist. And if this is the case, what you want to be doing is number one, never interrupt them, but listen and ask questions that they will have an enjoyable time answering for you. So it could be about the business, it could be about their position. They enjoy talking. But then there's going to be others that really, they want to listen. Okay, they don't want to be the center of attention. And this is where you can share with them some really good stories out there of what you've done before. Let's say you're in customer service. Maybe some juicy stories about, difficult customer scratch that. I don't want you to talk about difficult customers. Pick out one of the best customers that you can work with because they like to hear positive things, not negative things out there. Project manager, an example of something that really went well. You don't have to get into the details of such, but they're going to be interested in just hearing the story. It's an engaging story. So you can kind of judge right when you go in there if this person is going to be one who likes to be the center of attention. Again, you're going to ask them engaging questions about the business, about the company, which means that you want to study and learn as much as you can, not only about the company, but make sure you take a look at their LinkedIn profile and learn as much as you can about them at LinkedIn as well. Hey, I see that you went to Harvard for an MBA. I bet that was a fascinating school to go to. Boy, if this person is someone who likes to be the center of attention, they're really going to enjoy answering that question. It's a process of getting engaged, okay? Remember, your resume validated your competence, the phone screen validated your competence. You had the interview with the manager. It becomes a little bit more about compatibility, but also they'll ask you a few questions about your competence. But now at this higher level, it really becomes more about compatibility than anything else. So either this person is going to be wanting to talk or they're going to want to listen. If there's somebody that likes to listen and you don't talk a lot, it's probably not going to go your way. So you want to make sure that you have some good stories prepared in advance, because they may ask you a couple of questions. They're not going to be really deep questions, but they can be behavioral type of questions, and you're going to be really engaged with the answer that you give them. So I hope this video was informative and useful for you. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, make sure that you do so, as I do upload new tips and strategies every Tuesday, and I'd hate for you to miss anything. Thanks for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Strike one to get you away back on track. You don't know how to get started. In the next couple of minutes, I'm going to show you how you can start burning up, gaining energy.
Visitors to the Eastern Shore have access to one of Maryland's finest healthcare systems. Shore Health System offers a network of services in our 2 hospitals, primary care centers, diagnostic and treatment facilities, and home health services. For visitors and residents alike, our Memorial Express Care Center provides walk-in services for minor illnesses and injuries for convenient day, evening, and weekend hours.
Welcome to University of Maryland Shore Regional Health. We are the primary source of healthcare on Maryland's Eastern Shore, serving Caroline, Dorchester, Kent, Queen Anne's, and Talbot counties. Rural hospitals are often the anchor institution in their communities. They are the largest employers, attract other businesses, and offer stability to their communities. This is true for us. Despite this, many rural healthcare entities struggle financially, with nearly 150 rural hospitals closing since 2010, thus forcing patients to travel long distances for care. These closures are also associated with higher mortality and low levels of income and employment. There are challenges too, like transportation, barriers to technology, and lack of services. Here at Shore Regional Health, our rural nature speaks to the challenges we face daily. Our primary service area covers just under 2,000 square miles, with a population of only 171,000. Overall, 20% of our population is older than 65, with more than 88% covered by government insurance or uninsured altogether. The average family income is $55,000 a year, well below the statewide average. 3 of our 5 counties have a poverty rate of 15%. Unemployment and housing concerns are also prevalent. Health indicators on the shore are poor. For example, physical activity, food security, and life expectancy should be high instead of low. Unnecessary ED utilization, obesity, and smoking prevalence should be low instead of high. In addition, cancer rates on the shore are higher than state and nationwide averages. As the largest employer in the Midshore, we strive to meet regional challenges and thrive on strong relationships with our community partners. Our mission of creating healthier communities together and our vision of being the region's leader in patient-centered healthcare will help us meet these challenges head-on. Our values of respect, integrity, teamwork, excellence, and service are paramount to our success and serve to drive our culture, a culture predicated on community members taking care of others and celebrating our unique rural nature. Our Shore Regional Health family has approximately 2,200 team members, over 500 medical staff, and more than 400 community volunteers. We are licensed in 181 beds across our 3 hospitals, and in fiscal year 20, we provided 81,000 ED visits, 2,500 inpatient surgical procedures, and over 250,000 outpatient visits. Shore Regional Health excels at what it means to be a rural health system, keeping pace with urban health systems twice our size in volumes, equipment, and services. In the first decade of 2000, shortly after both Shore Health System and Chester River Health System, both hospitals dating back to the early 1900s, separately integrated with the two joined forces to form one organization, Shore Regional Health. At that time, the landscape presented a challenging campus. 2 Midshore counties, Caroline and Queen Anne's, lacked any type of meaningful, coordinated healthcare delivery system. Dorchester's aging hospital, situated on the bank of the Choptank River, was in desperate need of major repair due to years of damage from floods and hurricanes. With the new Maryland waiver system on the horizon, Kent County's hospital sat isolated to the north. And Talbot County's aspiration for replacement hospital was an uphill battle as its rural surroundings posed enormous physical challenges. Without significant reorganization, Shore Regional Hospital seemed destined to meet the same fate as nearly 150 other rural hospitals in the nation. The answer lay in creating a single integrated vision that leveraged the nature of the rural environment with the expertise of an academic medical system. 3 broad strategies, enabling a strong base of primary care, specialists, and ambulatory services, complementing these services with strong clinical programs that provide best-in-class care, and integrating our services with the right type of facility within each county, form the basis of our ideal healthcare delivery plan. It will serve Maryland's rural mid-shore, and may also serve as a strong model for other rural areas nationwide. Step 1 has been to define and implement our integrated primary care, specialist, and ambulatory care network throughout our region. We have strategies in all 5 counties, allowing us to enact a hub-and-spoke model. Our facilities in each county act as the spokes, enabling us to send the appropriate levels of care to our Easton Regional Medical Center. And then from Easton, we send the specialty, tertiary, and quaternary care to UMS. With plans for a new regional medical center on Route 50 near the Easton Airport, the region will be the best-served rural region in the nation. Complemented with our UMS and School of Medicine partners, the Midshore community will have the most innovative and integrated healthcare delivery system, improving health and promoting wellness close to home. Step 2 is to ensure we consistently provide value to our community by focusing on high-quality care at the lowest cost. To this end, Shore Regional Health has made significant strides in the reduction of preventable harm and improvement of overall quality over the decade. We are persistent in our pursuit of high-quality care through our culture of safety and harm prevention, focusing on quality-based reimbursement, prevention quality indicators, Maryland hospital-acquired conditions, reducing readmissions, and reducing harm. These achievements have been affirmed at all 3 hospitals by Leapfrog with an A rating, continued magnet recognition, and 4-star ratings with Medicare Hospital Compare. Step 3 is to ensure our clinical programs are best in class. Our programs of excellence include cancer, cardiology, orthopedics, vascular, and ambulatory, complemented by telemedicine. A program of excellence, our cancer program, has recently expanded collaboration with Greenbaum Cancer Center with our intense focus on one UMS. Accredited by the Commission on Cancer, this program has multiple fellowship and board-certified providers and has been bolstered by investments in state-of-the-art linear accelerators. Our close tie with the community has also brought generous philanthropic support for patient care. Our cardiology program, highlighted by our PCI services, has captured 68% of the market share on the shore and has performed over 5,000 procedures in FY20. We have 10 fellowship and board-certified cardiologists, and both our cardiology and vascular programs are accredited by the Intersocietal Accreditation Commission. Certified as a cardiac interventional center in 2017, we have achieved the gold standard for STEMIs and have 2 new state-of-the-art catheterization labs. With our focus on 1-ohms, last year we sent 21% of our vascular cases to Baltimore Washington Medical Center. This relationship also provides members of our medical staff the opportunity to participate in weekly vascular case conferences. Another center of excellence, our orthopedics program, has captured nearly 45% of the local market share. We currently have a new expansion project on target to be completed this year, which will add 15,000 square feet and 14 exam rooms. We have 7 board-certified and fellowship trained providers. This is one of the top practices in the Mid-Atlantic region, ranking us high on national performance metrics. 20% of our business revolves around our outpatient practices and is core to providing access to services for our community and financial strength to Shore Regional. These practices are primary care, pediatrics, behavioral health, urgent care, population health, and diagnostic services, and multiple medical specialties. All of these services are complemented by our telemedicine program. Shore Medical Group practices have seen 25,000 patients virtually during COVID-19. This is another core strategy in meeting the challenges of access. Our outreach and investment of over $8.3 million in population health, in collaboration with our inpatient and outpatient facilities, are striving to reduce barriers to care, improve care coordination, and focusing on health outreach and education. The execution of our strategic plan and the models of care defined within each county, support from our community for consistent philanthropic gifts, and strengthening our 1-ohms and community partnerships are all necessary for our success. Once our current visions for Cambridge and Chestertown are realized, and we demonstrate success through community support, we will seek approvals for the largest and most important long-term element of our plan, building the new regional medical center in Easton. We are transforming rural healthcare one county at a time, implementing the best value-added solutions to realize our vision of innovative and integrated care. Each community, which was once isolated and independent, is now integrated and coordinated. With our new models of care and ultimately a new regional medical center, we will succeed. With greater integration with OMS and the School of Medicine, growth of our telemedicine and remote patient monitoring services, and expansion of ambulatory access points for all, we will improve the health and wellness of the population we serve. We are moving into a new future, where we will achieve our vision of being the region's leader in patient-centered healthcare. We are World Healthcare on Maryland's Eastern Shore. We are the University of Maryland Shore Regional.
God be with you. And also, we meet together today to remember those who were shunned in life, forsaken in death. Now, after years of unmarked graves, those who were once forgotten are remembered. Those for whom prayers were never offered in life are today entrusted to God in death. As a father or mother cares for their children, so the Lord cares for those who fear Him. The Lord knows where we are made, that we are but dust. Our days are like grass. We flourish like a flower of the field. When the wind goes over, it is gone, and its place shall know it no more. But the merciful goodness of the Lord endures forever on those who fear God, and God's righteousness on our children's children. Together we say, Blessed are you, Lord our God, lover of souls, who uphold us in life and sustain us in death. To you be glory and praise forever. For the darkness of this youth passed away, as the light of morning star brings to your saints the light of life. As you give light to those in darkness who walk in the shadow of death, and so remember in your need, teach your children, those misunderstood, let in life, that death may be for them the gate to life, and unlimited friendship with you, where with our children we live and reign, one in perfect union of love, now and forever. Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel. He has raised up a mighty salvation for us. In the tender compassion of our God, shine on those who dwell in darkness and in the shadow of death. What no eye has seen, nor ear heard, nor human heart conceived. Hear us, O merciful God, as we remember and love those whom we have placed in your hands. James S. Janelle, I.T. James D. Tyson, Benjamin Martin, Ezekiel Hughes, Margaret Porter, George Schultz, Martin Parsons, James H. Harris,
Dennis Keeler, Walton Myers, Fred Douglas, Sally Alderman, Elizabeth Oates, Walter Warner, Carrie Gale, William Dryden, Josephine Emerson, Arthur Gibbons, Grace Dowling, Daniel Cole, Henry Hoyt, James McCoy, George Jones, Louis Miller, Emma Gibbons, and John Krasinski.
Acknowledge, we pray, the sheep of your own fold, lambs of your own flock, sinners of your own redeeming. Enfold them in the arms of your mercy, and the blessed rest of everlasting peace, and in the glorious company of the saints in light. Grant to us, Lord God, to trust you not for ourselves alone, but for those whom we love and are waiting for us by the shadow of death. That as we believe in your power to raise that which is sown in death to new life, so we may trust your love to give eternal life to all we entrust to you this day. Now may the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon you